Hello, and welcome to the Telescope Show. We laugh, discover God, and totally nerd out. My name is Matthew Seipel-Anderson.
And I'm Katie Seipel-Anderson.
And we're so glad you're joining us today for another episode of the show. Katie, are you pumped or what?
So pumped.
So pumped. Well, today we're talking about Marvel OneShots, She-Hulk, and maybe a few little predictions for the future for some things, maybe a little Lord of the Rings talk. Who knows where this episode's actually going to go, but it's going to go somewhere good.
Definitely.
Well, speaking of Lord of the Rings, Katie, did you know that Lord of the Rings of Power premieres this week?
I did know that.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I'm kind of excited. No, I'm really excited about it.
We're both so excited about it. And just in case any of you didn't know, now you do. So mark your calendars. It premieres.
I think it's tomorrow.
It depends on your time zone.
Oh.
It's September 1st or 2nd, depending on your time zone. And I think they've been advertising it as September 2nd on Friday. But some people around the world will still be in Thursday when it's Friday, probably here in the U.S.
Oh, so it's really not for you and I. It's going to be Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a little disappointing.
Well, we'll live. We'll persevere.
I guess so. Did you know? Well, this is actually a follow-up, did you know, from when we did a couple weeks ago when I had my nieces on. My niece, Rebecca, was like, hey, did you know the Queen has 2 birthdays? And I was like, what? How can someone have 2 birthdays?
And I was like, mind blown.
So I did a little bit more research. And according to independent.co.uk, the Queen celebrates 2 birthdays, but she doesn't actually have 2 birthdays. Apparently, the Queen's official birthday is in April, but It sounded like the King wanted to celebrate a birthday in the summertime or something. So he wanted to combine her birthday with the annual military parade. That I got from a different website that said that. But either way, her birthday is actually celebrated on June 2nd. So her official birthday, and it's a joint celebration with the Platinum Jubilee or something like that. So while her official birthday, the day she was birthed, is in April, they celebrate it. The official celebration of it is in June.
When you're as famous as the Queen, maybe you just need 2 birthdays. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to celebrate with her.
That's true. And we oftentimes will celebrate birthdays on different days than we're actually born.
Yeah, we have winter birthdays in our family, fall and winter, and we often do a joint summer party.
So I think it's not that much of an anomaly, but it is weird to say they actually have 2 birthdays. So that's a little inaccurate to say that, because she really only has 1 birthday. She just has a separate celebration or official acknowledgement of her birthday.
The Queen just likes to party down.
That is apparently it.
Well, today we're talking about Marvel OneShots.
I bet the Queen would like Marvel OneShots.
I think so, too.
Maybe we should bring it up to her sometime.
That's a good idea. Next time I see her, I'm going to mention it.
There you go. Well, we're mentioning it to all of you right now, and maybe the Queen's listening.
You
just really never know.
I'll have 1 lump of sugar in my tea. Oh, speaking of 1 lump, have you heard of Marvel OneShots? Maybe that'll be an awkward segue.
I don't quite see the connection. I guess there's a 1 and a 1.
That's the connection.
Okay. Well, you connect things differently than I do.
That's what makes us all special. We're different. So, Marvel OneShots. What is a Marvel OneShot, you may ask?
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
What's a Marvel OneShot?
Well, let me tell you.
I do ask.
Let me tell you. There are 8 OneShots, and they are little featurettes that were originally released as Blu-ray bonus content. But things get a little confusing. If you really want to be precise, only 5 were released as Blu-ray content. And then, a little bit later, they made a series of 3 Team Thor videos.
Now, I remember those.
Yeah, and those were released online, kind of getting people amped up for Thor Ragnarok. And they
were kind of fun to watch beforehand. They did kind of get me hyped up for it.
Yeah, and they introduced that comedy tone that they brought in, and they were actually written by the guy who directed Ragnarok, and the same guy did Thor Love and Thunder. So you can see that kind of trademark humor. But now Marvel's taken these previously unavailable little mini shows along with the Thor stuff and just labeled them all one-shots and put them onto Disney+.
So we can watch them.
Yeah, and they were actually released earlier in the year, like early in 2022. But I just noticed them, and then I thought, I wonder if there are people out there who didn't notice them either and might want to watch them.
So one shot makes me think it's shorter.
They are.
Are they like one shot?
No, what's that war movie that came out that literally was one shot?
Oh, I don't know.
It won awards. We didn't watch it, obviously. Anyway, some of them are as short as like 3 minutes. Some of them are more like 12, 13 minutes, something like that.
So kind of like a half episode or
episode
or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'll have to, Matt was watching them last night actually, but I fell asleep. So I'll have to try to check those out.
Yeah, and 2 of them I learned actually were responsible for spawning Marvel shows.
Spawning.
Yeah. In particular, the Agent Carter episode, the Agent Carter one-shot. They liked it, and they're like, hey, let's do a whole series on this.
Oh, so the one-shot came first, and then the Agent Carter series came.
It was almost like a little pilot episode or a proof of concept. And the same thing happened with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. In particular, there's one called Item 47 about this couple that's down and out on their luck, and they find a gun left over from the aliens, or a couple guns left over from the aliens from Avengers 1 who invaded New York, and they take those guns and they go like on a bank robbing spree. But then in the end, they get invited to join S.H.I.E.L.D. instead of being put in jail.
I'll have to watch it, but that sounds awesome. Hey, you like to rob people and do bad things. Why don't you become part of the government officially?
That did lead to the creation of the show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
that led to the creation of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
It seems to me that that was already happening and then they did those things, but that's kind of cool that the one shot happened first. And now I'm glad that we get to see it, sharing with those of us who are not Blu-ray people.
I was going to ask if you had a favorite, but
well,
maybe it was the first one that you watched.
Let me just pretend like I watched them. I mean, I woke up in the middle of the Agent Carter one. So I guess right now that one's going to have to be my favorite because that's the one. Oh, I did see a little bit of the Coulson one, but it was just like him flying through the air, kicking someone. So.
And you saw the Thor ones, which we like those. Those kind of remind me of The Office.
Yeah, a little.
Little that humor.
Yep, I can see that humor. So I don't have a favorite, but what's your favorite one since you did watch them?
I think it was probably more fun watching the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ones for me because they were brand new. But I think I just like the Thor ones overall. Although you and I were huge fans of the Agents of Carter TV show.
I think it was just Agent Carter.
Agent Carter. Now you've got me saying Agents of Carter.
It's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter.
Yeah.
It makes them both in my head, apparently.
We did love Agent Carter. In fact, I liked Agent Carter so much, I went online and filled out a petition to try to get another season of Agent Carter.
Really?
Yeah.
Dedication.
Obviously didn't work, but
no,
I tried. Hey, speaking of female heroes, because Agent Carter is a boss female hero, we did enjoy the most recent episode of She-Hulk.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I'd say I enjoyed the second episode better than I did the first episode.
I would agree with that. And this episode was cool because it wasn't so much about She-Hulk having fights. It was just more about Jennifer Walters being forced to integrate She-Hulk into her life.
Yeah, and actually the repercussions, they really highlighted the repercussions of sometimes doing the right thing can actually lead to at least temporary bad things to happen. You're like, man, I've been punished for doing the right thing. I do believe generally in life, eventually it does work out and you do see the good in it. But sometimes doing the right thing can at first feel like it was like you're getting punished for doing the right thing. And she totally had that where she was like, hey, I saved all these people. I couldn't just let them get crushed by a desk. But then she lost her job and no one else would hire her because she was like too much. There's too much.
It's like a liability.
Yeah, they talked about liability. There's just too much media attention or attention around her for her to make a good attorney.
One of my favorite touches that they did is when they flashed the logo after she got fired, and instead of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, it said She-Hulk Attorney for Hire.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So funny.
So it kind of showed like well, now what am I going to do? And then she gets this amazing job offer. And then she realized that it was just because she is a Hulk. That was the only reason. She's probably the only Hulk type attorney out there. Because she had special powers and she was an attorney, she became in charge of a division of this law firm that was like for enhanced individuals or for people with special abilities.
And at first she hated the fact that that's the only reason she got the job. And she's thinking, hey, I'm actually a great attorney. And now everyone thinks I'm just a gimmick.
And I can feel that, like, oh, great, you didn't hire me because you actually think I'm good at my job. You hired me because of what I am, the person I am, what I look like, basically. But then I was thinking about that, and that can be a little off-putting or whatever to be like, oh, you don't actually want me for my attorney skills. But then at the same time, you can look at those types of things and be like, hey, it actually just uniquely made you very capable of a new type of job. You could do this job differently than anyone else because you understand it in a different way because of your life experiences. So those things can, on one hand, be like, wow, that really sucks. On the other hand, it could be like, hey, or my life experiences and what happened to me actually has made me uniquely able to do a job that other people would not be able to do in the same way.
Right. And sometimes the things that we don't like about ourselves can make us unique and actually special if we choose to see them in that light. And there's actually a Bible verse that says that God works all things for good to those who love him. And a lot of times people quote that in regards to situations in life or things that we're going through. But I was thinking about it in this context where things about us can actually be used by God and make us special.
Food for thought. But another thing that's kind of food for thought is, where is Hulk going in that spaceship?
He's like having a nice friendly chat on the cell phone, and then all of a sudden he's just like flying into hyperspace.
And she's like, oh, Hulk, you hung up on me. So where's he going? What is he doing?
Well, I did a little research on that because I had my own theories, and my own theories turned out to be dead wrong. So I'm glad I did some research. So if you recall, Bruce Banner recognized the spaceship that showed up in episode 1.
I do remember that.
And he said something like, oh yeah, it was a Sakaran cruiser, blah, 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 blah. He knew all about it. Well, Sakara is the planet where he lived as Hulk for 2 years, and that's where Thor visited, if you recall, in Thor Ragnarok. It was like the garbage planet where they had the big arena and they did all the fighting. Okay, so Hulk is most likely going back to Sakara, and in the comic books, Hulk had a child while he was on that planet.
What?
So it could be that Bruce Banner is going back to Sakara to meet the child he unknowingly fathered.
That would be super fun.
Yeah.
I hope that's it.
Yeah. So we'll see if they follow that, or if they're just kind of taking it in their own direction and bringing him back there, but maybe not following the comic books exactly. We will see. Hey, that is going to wrap up our show for today. We want to invite you to connect with us. If you want to talk in more depth about faith, we would love to do that. If you want to just talk about comic stuff, shoot us an email at thetelescopeshow@icloud.com. You can find us at thetelescopeshow.com online, and you can also contact us through that. And we would love that. So stay tuned. We're looking forward to... Oh, yes, my dear?
And next week, join us next week if you want to know our thoughts on the new Lord of the Rings series.
That's right.
Which I'm really excited about.
All about it. So, until next time, love y'all. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.